They say there are two important days in a person's life: the day you are born and the day you find out why. But there's another day, just as powerful, the day you realize that you can become whoever you decide to be. I remember a young man named Arif. He was quiet, almost invisible in any crowd. He had a mind full of ideas, but his voice rarely crossed the barrier of his own lips. At work, he was the helpful one, but never the one in charge. In social circles, he was the nice guy, but never the one people gravitated towards. One evening, we were walking together after work. The city was alive, streetlights glowing, shopkeepers calling out their last sales, buses rattling past with tired faces inside. Out of nowhere, he said to me, "Do you think I'm just forgettable?" The question hit me like a stone, not because I thought he was forgettable, but because I realized he thought he was. Here's the truth. Personality isn't something you're born with, like eye color. It's something you build every single day. And confidence? Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's a decision to move forward in spite of it. As Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Your personality is the way you make people feel. Your confidence is the way you make yourself feel. And today, here on The Storyteller, I'm going to share daily steps that can completely transform the way you walk into a room, the way people see you, and most importantly, the way you see yourself. By the end of this, you won't just have tips. You'll have a personal blueprint for becoming magnetic, memorable, and deeply respected. So take a deep breath, sit back, and let's start building the new you. Chapter 1. The first step to becoming unforgettable. If your life were a book, every morning would be a fresh page. The question is, what's the first sentence you write each day? Most people begin their mornings in a rush, hitting the snooze button, scrolling through social media, comparing themselves to strangers, drowning their minds in noise before they've even spoken to themselves. But if you want to improve your personality and confidence, you must start the day as the person you want to become. One morning mindset, the king's arrival. Think of yourself like a leader preparing for an important day. Before a king steps out into his kingdom, he prepares his mind and appearance. Here's your new morning ritual. 1. Affirmations with conviction. Stand up, breathe deeply, and say, "Today I walk with purpose. My presence matters. I am a person worth remembering." Say it slowly, like you mean it. The words will feel awkward at first, but repetition will turn them into belief. 2. Moving before distraction. Before you check your phone, move your body. Stretch, do push-ups, walk around your home. It tells your mind, I am active, I am alive, I am in control. 3. Dress with intention. Wear clothes that make you feel sharp. Not expensive, intentional. A clean shirt, good posture, and polished shoes speak before you ever open your mouth. As Oscar Wilde once said, you can never be overdressed or overeducated. 2. The 3-second rule of presence. When you walk into a room, pause for 3 seconds before you do anything. This pause changes everything. It signals others and to yourself that you're not rushing to prove your place. You're already worthy of it. Practice this. Enter a room, stop, look around, make brief eye contact with someone, smile slightly, then walk in. It's subtle, but it works like magic. 3. The power of first words. Your first words of the day set your tone. Instead of flat, hey or morning, add energy. Good morning. How's your day starting? Hey, you look ready to win today. It's a small detail, but confidence is built in the small details. 4. A story of transformation, the Beethoven lesson. There's a famous story about Ludwig van Beethoven. In his early years, he was seen as talented but lacking charisma. He was brilliant with his music, but his presence didn't match his genius. So he began to carry himself differently, dressing sharply, holding eye contact, and starting conversations with purpose. Soon, people didn't just admire his music. They admired him. Beethoven once said, "I will seize fate by the throat. It shall certainly never wholly overcome me." And that's exactly what confidence is, seizing your fate before it seizes you. Chapter 2. The language of confidence. They say words can inspire, heal, and even change the course of history. But the truth is, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. I want you to picture two people standing on a stage. Both have the same script. One speaks softly, hurriedly, eyes down. The other speaks with a steady, calm voice, making deliberate pauses. Shoulders relaxed, gaze steady. Which one do you remember? Which one feels powerful? The answer is obvious. Confidence speaks before your words ever do. 1. The power of voice. Your voice is a bridge between your inner world and the outside world. It conveys emotions, authority, and presence. Here's a secret. Slow down. People who rush their words appear anxious or unsure. When you speak slowly, each word lands. Each word feels deliberate. Try this exercise every morning. Pick a sentence, preferably one that resonates with your goals. Speak out loud 3 times slowly with intention. I am worthy of respect. I am capable of change. Today, I am confident. Do this consistently, and your voice begins to carry the weight of your belief. Winston Churchill once said, "Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision." Your voice is the first decision of courage you make each day. 2. Eye contact, the invisible power. People underestimate the strength of the eyes. Eye contact is not about staring someone down. It's about connection. Practice this daily. When someone speaks to you, hold their gaze for a beat longer than feels natural. Pair your gaze with a small nod or a subtle smile. This simple act tells people, I am present. I am attentive. I am here. Confidence lives in presence, not pretense. And presence starts in the eyes. 3. Body language. Speak without words. The body is a silent megaphone. Even before you say anything, your posture, gestures, and expressions communicate your energy. Posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin slightly lifted. Imagine a string pulling you upward from the top of your head. Gestures. Use your hands when you speak, not wildly, but enough to highlight your words. Movement. Walk with purpose. Avoid fidgeting. Each step is a statement. Consider Steve Jobs. People remember him not just for the iPhone, but for how he walked on stage, how he paused, and how he gestured. Every movement reinforces authority and charm. 4. The art of pausing. Silence is a powerful punctuation mark in conversation. Most people fill silence with nervous chatter. Confident people embrace the pause. When someone asks a question, take 3 seconds before replying. Let your words come with clarity, not haste. Pauses create weight. They make your words memorable. They make you command attention without shouting. As a legendary actor Morgan Freeman once implied in an interview, the space between words can carry more emotion than the words themselves. 5. Practice storytelling daily. One of the strongest tools in your personality arsenal is storytelling. Stories evoke emotion. They make people feel something, and humans remember emotion far longer than facts. Start small. Every day, recount one short story from your life. Make it vivid. Add sights, sounds, and feelings. Keep your body language open and expressive. Here's an example. Yesterday, I walked past a park, and I saw a child struggling to fly a kite. The wind was stubborn, but the child's determination never wavered. It reminded me of how small efforts, repeated daily, eventually make us soar. Stories like this, told with calm confidence, make people lean in and remember you. 6. Words that stick, quotes to live by. Integrate famous lines into your daily speech. They're like anchors of wisdom. The most courageous act is still to think for yourself. Aloud. Coco Chanel. I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. Estee Lauder. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Theodore Roosevelt. When you sprinkle such lines naturally, people perceive you as well-spoken, knowledgeable, and thoughtful. It elevates your personality effortlessly. 7. Listening. The hidden side of confidence. Confidence is often mistaken for talking more. The real secret? Listening deeply. When you focus entirely on understanding someone, you build instant respect. People love to be heard. Listening well makes them remember you as someone who matters and cares. Try this exercise. In every conversation, commit to listening without interrupting for at least 80% of the time. Only speak after you've absorbed what's being said. Your words, when they do arrive, will carry weight. 8. Put it all together, a daily routine. Here's how to integrate the language of confidence into your day. 1. Morning vocal practice, affirmations out loud. 2. 3. Deliberate pauses in conversation. 3. Maintain posture and open gestures throughout the day. 4. Daily storytelling practice. Share one story with someone. 5. Use one famous quote naturally in conversation. 6. Focus on listening more than speaking. After a few weeks, people will notice a subtle change. They might say, "You become different, more confident, more memorable." And the truth is, you have. Chapter 3. Building inner strength through daily challenges. There's a story I like to tell my viewers on The Storyteller. It's about a young woman named Samira. She was shy, hesitant, and terrified of speaking in public. Every time an opportunity arose, she would shrink back, convincing herself she wasn't ready, wasn't good enough. One day, she decided to face her fear head on, not in a grand, dramatic way, but by setting a small challenge each day. On the first day, she spoke to a stranger and smiled. The next day, she shared her opinion in a meeting. The day after, she told a short story to a small group. It wasn't easy. Her heart raced, her palms sweated, and doubt whispered in every corner of her mind. "You can't do this." But she kept going. Day by day, small step by small step, she began to feel a change, not in the people around her, but in herself. And that's the key. Confidence grows from daily courage, not one-time victories. 1. The comfort zone, your invisible cage. Most people live in what I like to call the comfort zone prison. It's invisible, but it confines your personality, your voice, and your energy. Inside, life feels safe, predictable, and quiet. But outside, that's where growth lives. That's where confidence is forged. The great philosopher Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Confidence is an act. It's a habit. And habits are built by doing the uncomfortable daily. Daily challenges don't have to be huge. Speak to one new person each day. Share an idea you fear might be judged. Try something physically or mentally challenging, like learning a new skill. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, your brain rewires itself to believe, "I can handle this." 2. Micro wins, the power of small successes. Let me tell you about Armin, a young man who dreamed of becoming a speaker. At first, he would only speak to his mirror, then a friend, then a small local audience. Every stage was terrifying. Every speech felt inadequate. But he kept a journal of micro wins, small victories like speaking for 2 minutes without stumbling, making eye contact with one audience member, sharing a story without apologizing. He celebrated each one, and over months, these small wins compounded into unshakable confidence. Here's the lesson. Never underestimate the daily small victories. They are bricks. Lay enough of them, and you build a fortress of strength. 3. Embracing failure as fuel. One of the biggest myths about personality and confidence is that failure weakens you. Truth. Failure is fuel. It is a mirror reflecting areas to improve, a teacher guiding you toward growth. Consider Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Yet he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Confidence is learning to treat failure as information, not a verdict on your worth. Daily practice. Attempt something that scares you. Note what went wrong. Adjust and try again tomorrow. Soon, failure becomes a friend, not a foe. And your personality shines brighter because you carry resilience and courage. 4. Courage in communication. A strong personality is anchored in the courage to express yourself clearly, even when it feels risky. Here's a simple routine. Each day, write one opinion or idea that matters to you. Speak it to someone, a friend, colleague, or even in a voice memo. Notice the fear, acknowledge it, and speak anyway. Remember, Nelson Mandela said, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Every brave word you speak grows your inner strength, reinforcing your confidence. 5. Daily challenge journal, your growth map. To make this tangible, start a daily challenge journal. Note a small fear you want to face each day. Record how you acted. Reflect on your emotions and lessons. Over time, you'll see patterns. You'll notice how far you've come. And nothing builds confidence faster than visible proof that you're evolving. Think of it like training a muscle. You don't lift 100 kilograms on day one. You start small, increase gradually, and with consistent effort. Strength grows exponentially. 6. Real-life example. The public speaker who almost quit. I want to tell you about Rafiq, a man who worked in an office cubicle, terrified of speaking in meetings. On his first attempt, he mumbled, avoided eye contact, and stumbled over every word. He wanted to quit, but he set himself daily mini challenges. Monday, introduce himself to a new colleague. Tuesday, share one idea in the team meeting. Wednesday, compliment someone genuinely. Thursday, ask a question in a public seminar. Friday, record a video sharing an opinion. 6 months later, Rafiq wasn't just speaking confidently. He was leading discussions, mentoring juniors, and commanding attention effortlessly. The moral? Small, consistent challenges transform timid personalities into unforgettable ones. 7. The inner voice, your daily ally. Your mind will resist. It will whisper, stay quiet. Don't try. You'll fail. Train your inner voice to be your ally instead. Every morning, remind yourself of one daily challenge you will conquer. Visualize success, not vaguely, but with full detail. Imagine the room, the people, your posture, your words. Psychologists call this mental rehearsal, and it's how athletes, performers, and leaders train confidence without physically moving. Remember Samira, our shy young woman? Within a year, she was speaking at conferences, sharing stories that inspired dozens, even hundreds. Her personality had blossomed not from magic, but from daily acts of courage. Her journey teaches us that personality and confidence are forged in small, deliberate actions every single day. Step by step, challenge by challenge, fear by fear. That is how ordinary people become extraordinary. Chapter 4. The Magnetic Power of Personality. Have you ever met someone who, without saying much, draws everyone's attention? It's not about wealth, looks, or status. It's about magnetism, a blend of presence, charm, and authenticity. I want to tell you about Layla. She wasn't the most talented speaker in her class. She wasn't the most attractive. But when she entered a room, people noticed. They leaned in to listen. They remembered her words. They wanted to be around her. What made Layla magnetic? It wasn't luck. It was a deliberate cultivation of personality. And the good news? You can do it too. 1. Storytelling, the heart of connection. Stories are the lifeblood of personality. Humans are wired to respond to narrative. Facts inform, but stories move, inspire, and make you unforgettable. Every day, collect stories. Something you experienced, something you witnessed, lessons you learned. When you tell them, paint the scene. The cafe smelled like fresh coffee, and I could hear the barista humming. Then I saw her, struggling with her books, and I realized a small act of kindness could change someone's day. Storytelling isn't about exaggeration. It's about making others feel what you felt. And when people feel something because of you, your personality leaves a permanent mark. 2. Humor, the light that attracts. Humor is magnetic. It eases tension, builds rapport, and makes people feel comfortable. But it's not about telling jokes. It's about finding light in everyday moments. Layla had a knack for noticing small, amusing details. She would say, I think my cat has a better work ethic than me. At least he shows up for breakfast on time. People laughed. They felt her humanity. Humor creates warmth, and warmth draws people in. 3. Authenticity, your true power. One of the most common mistakes people make is trying to be someone else. They mimic others, adopt fake confidence, or exaggerate traits. Here's the truth. Authenticity is magnetic. People can sense when you're genuine. They respond to it. Daily practice. Identify your unique traits, your passions, quirks, and values. Highlight them subtly in conversations. Stop comparing yourself to others. As Oscar Wilde once said, Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. 4. Listening and curiosity, the secret weapon. Personality isn't just about speaking. It's also about listening. People love to feel understood. The more you show genuine interest, the more magnetic you become. Try this. Ask questions that go deeper than small talk. Listen actively. Reflect back what you heard in your own words. This simple act can make someone feel seen, and that feeling sticks with them. 5. Charisma in small gestures. Charisma isn't loud or flashy. It's in small, consistent gestures. A warm smile, maintaining eye contact, subtle nods while listening, offering help without expecting something in return. Charismatic people make others feel valued. And personality is, at its core, the ability to make others feel good in your presence. 6. Voice modulation, emotions through speech. As we learn in Chapter 2, your voice conveys confidence, but personality adds color to your voice. Emphasize key words, pause strategically, and match your tone to the story you're telling. For instance, when recounting a suspenseful moment, I opened the door and the room was empty. Not a sound, just silence. The pause, the emphasis, the pacing, it makes listeners lean in. This is how memorable personalities communicate. 7. The daily personality exercise. Here's a practical daily routine to develop magnetic personality. 1. Story journal. Write one story from your day, emphasizing feelings and imagery. 2. Conversation practice. Share it with a friend or family member. Focus on body language and tone. 3. Humor moment. Find a light, funny observation from your day and share it. 4. Active listening. Engage in one conversation purely to understand, not respond. 5. Authenticity check. Note one trait that makes you unique and highlight it intentionally. Do this consistently, and you'll notice people leaning in to listen, remembering your words, and enjoying your presence. 8. Real-life example. The charismatic leader. Look at Nelson Mandela. His charisma wasn't about being the loudest in the room. It was his calm, warm presence, his ability to listen deeply, and his authentic care for others. When Mandela walked into a room, people felt his energy before he spoke. They remembered him not only for his deeds, but for the way he made them feel seen and heard. Your goal is the same: to become a person whose presence is felt, words are remembered, and personality is magnetic. Chapter 5. Becoming a lifelong work of art. There's a story I often tell on The Storyteller. It's about an artist named Hassan. Hassan didn't just paint pictures. He lived as if his life itself were a canvas. Every decision, every habit, every word he spoke was a brushstroke, shaping a masterpiece that no one else could replicate. At first, Hassan was like most people, distracted, unsure, reacted to the world instead of creating it. But one day, he decided that he would craft himself deliberately, with intention, every single day. Personality and confidence, much like art, are never finished. They evolve, they deepen, they improve with attention, patience, and courage. You are your own canvas, and each day is a chance to paint a masterpiece. 1. Continuous self-education, knowledge as color. Every great personality is a student of life. Learning, reading, and observing others adds color to your canvas. Daily practice. Read a book for 30 minutes, not for entertainment alone, but to expand your perspective. Watch interviews with inspiring figures. Notice their posture, tone, and how they communicate. Reflect on what resonates with you and how it can enhance your own personality. As Albert Einstein said, intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. The moment you stop learning, your canvas begins to fade. Continuous growth keeps your colors vibrant, your personality alive. 2. Reflect and refine, the sculptor's mindset. Imagine a sculptor chiseling marble. Each day, he removes what's unnecessary, polishes what matters, and gradually reveals a masterpiece hidden within the stone. Your personality works the same way. Reflect on your actions, words, and reactions each day. Ask yourself, what worked? What could be better? Adjust your approach, your habits, and your mindset. The famous line by Leonardo da Vinci applies perfectly. Art is never finished, only abandoned. You are the artist of your life. Perfection isn't the goal, deliberate progress is. 3. Legacy thinking. Your personality leaves footprints. Every interaction, every word, every story you share leaves an imprint on those around you. Consider this. How do people feel after spending time with you? Do they walk away inspired, understood, or uplifted? Personality isn't just about charm or confidence. It's about the emotional echoes you leave behind. For example, Maya Angelou once said, "People forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Your legacy isn't built in trophies or titles. It's built in hearts, minds, and memories. 4. Daily practices of a masterpiece life. To become a lifelong work of art, integrate these daily habits. 1. Morning intention. Begin each day deciding how you want to show up. 2. Mindful interaction. Treat every person you meet as an opportunity to leave a positive impression. 3. Storytelling and sharing. Share one lesson, story, or insight each day to connect emotionally. 4. Reflection journal. Spend 10 to 15 minutes reflecting on your growth, noting wins and lessons. 5. Continuous learning. Read, observe, or listen to something that expands your mind. These habits are like brushstrokes, small individually, but together they create a masterpiece over time. 5. Embracing change and adaptability. Life is fluid. Circumstances, people, and environments change constantly. A personality that is rigid loses charm and confidence. The truly magnetic person adapts without losing authenticity. Learn to pivot when needed. Adjust your communication style for different people. Stay rooted in your core values while remaining flexible. Bruce Lee once said, "Be like water, my friend. Water doesn't resist. It flows." Your personality, like water, must be resilient and adaptable. 6. Inner peace and confidence, the final touch. A masterpiece is not just about skill. It's about harmony. Confidence is not arrogance. It's inner peace with who you are. Daily exercise. Spend 5 minutes in silence, observing your thoughts. Practice gratitude for who you are and what you've accomplished. Acknowledge fears without judgment and choose to move forward anyway. This inner alignment radiates outward, and suddenly, your personality feels effortless, authentic, and magnetic. 7. Real-life example, the lifelong work of art. Consider Oprah Winfrey. Her personality, charisma, and confidence weren't overnight gifts. They were carefully cultivated over decades through learning, reflection, courage, and authenticity. She faced setbacks, criticism, and doubt, yet she persisted. Her daily commitment to growth, to connecting deeply with people, and to remaining authentic turned her into a living masterpiece. You can do the same. You don't need fame or fortune. Your masterpiece is your life, your presence, and the way you make others feel. Personality and confidence aren't destinations. They are journeys. They are ongoing works of art, sculpted by intention, courage, and practice. Every morning, each word you speak, every story you tell, every act of courage, these are your brushstrokes. Over months and years, they accumulate into a life people remember, a personality they admire, and a confidence that is unshakable. So, here's my challenge to you from the storyteller. Begin today. Take one deliberate action to grow your personality. Face one fear to strengthen your confidence. Share one story that connects deeply with someone. You are the artist. Your life is your canvas. And it is never too late to create a masterpiece. Remember the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Daily effort, small challenges, authentic connections, constant learning. These are the paints, brushes, and techniques. Over time, they will reveal the best, most confident, most unforgettable version of you. This is your journey. This is your masterpiece. And every day you choose to grow, you become not just confident, but truly remarkable. And so, dear listener, we've traveled together through the steps to improve your personality and confidence, from owning your mornings, mastering your voice, embracing challenges, cultivating magnetism, to becoming a lifelong work of art. But remember this, none of it matters if you don't take action. Knowledge without action is like a book that never leaves a shelf. Confidence is built not by reading about it, but by living it day by day. As you step out into the world, carry these lessons with you. Every small act of courage shapes your character. Every story you share builds connection and presence. Every moment of reflection adds depth to your personality. And here's the final truth. You are already remarkable, and each day you choose to grow, you move closer to the best version of yourself. So start today. Speak, act, connect, and create. Let your life be your masterpiece. If this journey resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to The Storyteller. Because every story, every lesson, and every tip you need to transform your life is here, waiting for you. And remember the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Your story is just beginning. Go create it.